So, targets, probably
Yeah.
one of the most talked about words in all of golf psychology. You hear the pros talking about it a lot. And I think you've definitely got to put a big distinction between the pros and the amateur golfer, because they can go into an infinite target because of the skill they've got to hit that target. I don't tend to think about a target when I'm over my shot. I tend to try and just get a feeling and picture a great golf swing in my head and let it happen, although I've made sure I've set up on my target. But when I'm chipping, I always have a target landing area, and I'm just thinking about that landing area. And putting wise as well, I'll read a putt and pick a target on my line. What is your take on targets?
It's a fascinating area, Craig. It really is. And
so I'm delighted to say that the Scratch at 50 Psychology channel has partnered with Caddie. Caddie is an app that gives you access to one of the world's leading golf psychology coaches who's worked with 6 major champions and hundreds of PGA Tour, DP World Tour players from all over the world. Watch this video to the end where you can get a special offer to get access to Caddie today.
And the sort of throwaway catch-all that most psychology talks about is, you know, pick the smallest possible target, you know, the leaf on the tree, and you know, if you don't hit the bullseye, you lick the board and all the rest of it. Again, that's great. If you pick small targets and you play good golf, great, keep doing it.
Yes.
My experience of it is that for an awful lot of people, aiming at small targets creates an issue.
Yeah.
Because in the brain, again, think about how our brain's working. Our brain picks up something called perception of difficulty.
Okay.
Now, if I perceive something to be more difficult, my brain can tend to then go into protection mode and tend to tighten things up.
So that would be an instance of that. So if I've got a 9-iron here and we're just hitting to that, say, red flag down there, and we've got grass in front of us, you know, most players would not even think about that. But if we put water between here and all the way there, nothing's changed. It's still a 9-iron, a ball, and 135 yards. But our mind is telling us
the perception has now changed. So I think targets is a really interesting thing. A good analogy would be, you know, if you were walking across a ravine and the bridge is 6 foot wide like this, you know, you'd walk across and feel pretty comfortable. All of a sudden now, if that bridge gets much narrower and it's just a couple of feet wide, the perception, obviously an extreme example. So one of the things to consider when you're picking targets is, do you aim at small targets, or do you explore what I call channels?
Okay.
Whereby, and you can do this on the range, where you can just set up a couple of alignment sticks in front of you. And instead of being so concerned about trying to hit a tiny target out there, actually see that your task is to just thread it through that channel in front of you.
So you hear pros talk about hitting through a window, don't you? Similar sort of thing. Just picture a window in front of you.
Another great one, I had a story from a guy who actually played a lot of golf with Mo Norman.
Okay.
He played every Wednesday for about 4 years with Mo Norman, which you know, beat that as an experience. And he said he got some absolute gems from Mo Norman. He said, but one of the best ones he ever got, he said to Mo, they were playing this golf course, and he said to him, there's various holes here, Mo, that make me feel really uncomfortable when I look out and it's really tight out there. He said, what do I do? And Mo, in the way he would, he said, don't look up. And it might sound a flippant comment, but there's genius in that, in the sense that, as you just said, if I'm looking out there and I've got out of bounds left and water right, what is my brain going to do? It's going to pick up that threat. Whereas more what he was alluding to, if I think, right, my world is a channel just in front of me here, and my job is to actually stand there, you know what your target is out there, you actually thread it through the channel.
That's a really interesting, different way of looking at it. Because we've got to occupy our mind, haven't we, with just one thought?
We've got to occupy our mind with stuff that works. I call it becoming an attention detective. You've got to find out what targets work for you. Now, you know, you're a good player, so you've kind of worked out in chipping, picking that small landing spot works for you. I would say for everybody listening, you've got to work out what is it that targets actually work for you. You know, does it work for you to just have a spot just in front of you, or a channel, or a small target in the distance? Get curious about it. You know, the thing is, Craig, is that if my brain is setting up here and perceiving that this task is difficult,
yes,
there's going to be a physical reaction to that.
Yeah.
This then explains to me why we do struggle with transferring range to golf course.
Yeah.
Because now the brain's going, oh, suddenly this is difficult.
Yeah, big wide open range, just open your shoulders,
exactly.
swing freely.
But a brilliant one I would get everybody to do first of all is just walk out in front of your practice ground and just put a couple of alignment sticks down, create a channel, and just see yourself hitting it through the channel.
Yeah.
You know, I've a couple of guys who've won on tour, and literally the thought for the week as they won on tour was thread it through the channel.
Yeah.
They knew what they were aiming at out there, but that didn't matter. It was the channel that was the key.
You need something in your process though to make sure that you're lining that channel up in the right place.
Of course, yeah.
So, you know, that can be as simple as just picking a spot on your target and then having your imaginary alignment sticks either side of that spot.
We could even do it here with golf balls. You could create the same kind of scenario here.
Yeah.
That if you say, you know, if this was the actual target here.
Yeah.
And what we're going to say is, right, all you've got to do with this golf ball now, the golf ball that you're going to hit, you're aiming at this, but all you're trying to do is thread it through that channel.
And the great thing about that is that you've narrowed your focus just into this very short-term area here.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but you're also...
I've never thought of that before.
Yeah, it's a magic way of looking at it, this, because, as I say, you've picked the correct target, but you know, I would guess you would feel that you could get it through that channel.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think most people would.
Exactly.
If we're not doing that.
But now what we're doing, Greg, this is the key thing, is we're reducing the threat in the brain.
Yes. Yeah.
The threat now is
trying to make the task as simple as possible.
We're changing think about this, you alluded to it. It's all about the perception of the task.
Yes.
Now ultimately the task is, excuse to like, it's just to move a bloody ball forward.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in a net at home, you never think that's a difficult task.
Yeah.
I look out there and there's water and trees, the perception changes.
Yeah.
Well, if the perception changes, change the perception.
Yeah.
To something that works for you. You know, I would imagine you could step up to this, line up really well to that middle ball, but just give it some real freedom to thread it through that channel.
Yeah. No, it's like you say, I always have my intermediate target set up on, but actually just looking at that there now, if I just look at that all the way through this process, and like it just seems such a simple task to just look there, and then I've just absolutely
absolutely caned that,
flushed it.
And the paradox is
that felt such a free swing.
There you go.
Yeah,
because of the perception. Now the actual shot that you hit there was just dead in the middle of that channel.
Yeah.
Over the main target, you know, you've knocked it to, I don't know, 10 feet or whatever.
Yeah. No, that is an absolutely great bit of advice, because it's the difficulty of the task that causes the issue.
And the task doesn't change.
No, it doesn't.
The task is to make a swing and make contact with the golf ball.
Yeah.
Now, if you can't do that at all, obviously that's a technical thing.
Yeah.
But you know, I say to everybody that you're trying to do two things. You're trying to develop skills, obviously, but then you're trying to access those skills when you play.
Yeah.
Things like this allow you to access those skills.
Yeah.
You know, imagine you went out and played and you actually set a frame up. Instead of trying to shoot 69 or 70, you just say to yourself, let's see how many channels we can hit.
Yeah. No, that's a great bit of advice. Everyone who's watching, if picking a target and concentrating on a target is working for you, that's fine. As Carl said, just stick with that. But I think this is a great drill to go and try, because actually that has just made that feel like such the most simplest and easiest thing to do in the world. And it's going to keep your mind nice and calm when you start to feel that little bit anxious. Hope you enjoyed that episode of the Golf Psychology Sessions. If you want to get continued advice from Carl, you can subscribe to the Mind Caddie app. Go into the description of this video for a special offer as a viewer or subscriber of the Scratch at 50 Psychology channel.